Do you struggle with candida or mold or getting rid of fungal infections in your body? If you do, you're going to want to listen to this because I might have your secret weapon. What are we talking about today? So, one of my favorite things, grapefruit seed extract. I love this stuff. But let's talk about how to use it appropriately and what the heck it is even, right? So grapefruit seed extract is an amazing way to help your health, help your body, help your even cleaning. It'll really boost a lot of things, but let's just talk about what the heck it actually is. So grapefruit seed extract is actually an extraction from the grapefruit seeds and the pulp from after juicing, as well as the inner pith or the rind, the inside part that's white. So basically all the bitter stuff, right? That's actually what it's made for, because as we know, candida and mold and fungus hate bitter. This is why this works so well. Well, why does it work? So grapefruit seed extract actually has great bioflavonoids and great antioxidants. We know those protect your cells and the cell walls and the tissues, right? Protecting it from damage. Precisely what you want and need when you're trying to detox something that doesn't belong in the body, right? It is also known to have amazing antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal properties. This is a triple hitter, y'all. This stuff is potent and amazing. But let's talk about what you use it for. One of the number one things, candida overgrowth. Absolutely. So that stuff can cause fatigue and brain fog and bloating and yeast infections that just cycle. And if you've had issues with candida, you know what I'm talking about. You can't get rid of it. You just keep trying, you keep trying. This can be something that you add to your protocol for candida, along with the diet and other things that you're changing, and adding this into it may actually help you get rid of it much faster. That's what we're all about, right? Something that works a little bit better. So how does this help? Well, grapefruit seed extract disrupts that fungal cell wall, and it actually prevents overgrowth and spreading. So that's candida, fungus, mold spores. It helps with all of that. It also helps to support the gut balance and detox process. So that's really helpful. What about mold? Because mold is huge. We live here in the Gulf Coast area, and there is really not a whole lot of places you can go, or buildings or houses that don't have mold. So it's super common, and it doesn't hit and affect everybody the same. But for those who are a little bit immune compromised, maybe with an autoimmune disorder, maybe just an MTHFR gene mutation, whatever reason your body doesn't detox well, you need a little boost more than other people. So what does it do for mold? Well, it'll reduce the mold spores. It'll help get the immune function back, because that's also what it does. And it helps with inflammation. That's huge. We all know that inflammation is a disease causer and makes things hang on and linger. And this can reduce all of that. So what do we do with it, right? Yes, you can take it internally, but be careful, because not all grapefruit seed extracts are the same. You want to make sure you have a really good quality one. I like working with glycerite. It's a little bit easier for this process for grapefruit seed extract. And in a bit, I'm going to give you a recipe how to make your own if you are adventurous. So exactly how do we do this? In liquid form, the grapefruit seed extract that I use is a glycerite, non-GMO of course, and I usually start by taking 3 to 5 drops in water, in about 2 to 8 ounces of water. I don't need a whole lot. I'll just do 2 ounces, but if it's too bitter for you, you can do 8 ounces of water, and then you can drink that down 1 to 3 times daily. Here's the caveat. If you are really sensitive and you have a lot of mold that you've been exposed to, or maybe the candida is really out of control, you may have to go lower and slower, and that might be 3 drops 1 time a day and building your way up to 5 drops 3 times a day. Do it slowly. How do you know if it's too fast and too much for you? Detox. If you're getting a Herxheimer reaction, you're getting headaches, you're getting nausea, you feel worse and brain foggy, your body's detoxing. This is a good thing. This is what you want. You just don't want it so harsh you can't handle it, right? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it that way, gradually increase it up. You can even take 10 drops if you increase it up and your body allows. So what about external use? Yes, you can use it externally. Let's talk about how and why and what it does. So external use, you can put this in a bath for an antifungal bath if you've been dealing with mold and mold illness. If you've been dealing with a fungal infection anywhere, candida, you can do a bath in it. Here's how I do it. I take about 10 to 15 drops and I put it in Epsom salt and I mix it up really well so that it's not just by itself. I mix it up in the salt. Then I put about 1 to 2 cups with this mixture into the bath. Soak in that bath a good 30-45 minutes, and that is very helpful. This is a way to kind of boost your detox baths, right? Neti pot or a nasal irrigator. Yeah, you can actually put this in your neti pot solution. So you take your saline solution that's already made for the nasal irrigation and put 1 drop. I always suggest start with just 1 drop in with your nasal saline solution first. Then you'd use the nasal neti pot the normal way. You can build up to 2 drops. I wouldn't go beyond that. You don't really need to. But this can really clear out mold and bacteria in the sinus infection and in the mucosal lining, because remember, it's an anti-inflammatory. Can really help with sinus infections, especially if they're mold driven. This is very, very, very helpful. The other thing is mouthwash. So you can put about 2 drops in your mouthwash, maybe in about 1/4 cup of water and a pinch of sea salt, and swish it around and use it in mouthwash. I like to add it to my essential oil mouthwash, and I just put 1 to 2 drops in there. It's a little bitter, but remember, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. This is great if you have a lot of dental issues. This is a great way to kind of boost that up a bit. So great way to do that with mouthwash. The other thing I like to do is toenail fungus. Yeah, you can use it for a toenail fungus issue. I usually don't do it by itself. I'll add it with tea tree essential oil. I will literally take 2 drops of this grapefruit seed extract and 1 to 2 drops of tea tree essential oil with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, and I will mix that and put it right on the toenail fungus or fingernail fungus, wherever you have it, 1 to 2 times a day. That can really boost it and make healing go way faster. You can also use it as a topical spray. I will take 10 drops of this to about maybe 2 ounces of distilled water, put it in a spray bottle with a pinch of sea salt, and then you can spray it on some sort of infection. Sometimes it helps with bacterial infections as well, or staph, but I just use it as a topical spray, and it's very, very helpful to hasten that. If you've been in mold and you have mold fungus on your skin and a mold fungus infection, this is a great way to boost that by topically putting it on there, and it heals way faster. So what about household uses? Yeah, I love to clean with this too. So I will put about 10 drops in with my liquid laundry soap, mix that in first, and then put it in the wash. And that'll really help if you have been exposed to mold and you are doing a decontamination process. It will really help you to reduce the mold and by helping the clean the clothes. Now, you really want to do a full remediation with that. That's a whole different video. So I like to use it as a maintenance, just to make sure we're staying out of it. It's not building up. Dishes, 3 to 5 drops in with my dish soap. It really helps to clean. You can actually put it in the rinse water, and then it really does help. Put it right in the dishwasher itself. This will really boost what you're cleaning, because remember, antibacterial, right? It's very helpful. It's a great surface cleaner as well. I'll put about 20 drops to maybe 16 ounces of a spray bottle with some vinegar in there. And then I have a great surfactant cleaner, because again, it's going to help reduce, I'm not saying it will get rid of mold by itself in that way, but this is going to reduce that, and it's a great way to kind of boost all of your cleaning in a natural way. The thing I like about this is if you're very sensitive, which a lot of people who've been through mold are very sensitive, they cannot handle strong scents. This doesn't have a strong scent, and that's very helpful. Also, I use it for fogging. So if you have gone through mold and you are doing a full mold remediation, there is a machine you can get called a fogger. There's a whole process. I'm not going to go into the details of that. That's a different video. But if you know about fogging and you're doing it, you can add about 40 drops into your fogging solution with your vinegar, your Thymox, your Decon 30. These are thyme essential oil based natural ways to really get rid of mold spores. You can add that in there, and it is really going to help boost it quite a bit. But let's talk about how to make your own glycerite. So you can make your own. I will say buying it this way is going to be stronger, but you can make your own. You want to take grapefruits. So it's grapefruit season. We're going right into citrus season. This is amazing. I start saving all my seeds, some of the pulp, and the rind. The rind is the inside white pith part, all of that. I start saving it in a Ziploc and I put it in my freezer. When I have a good bag full, then I'm ready to make my glycerite with it, which is so cool. So I use a glass mason jar, quart size, and I will take my seeds, the pulp is usually what is left over after juicing. So it's that white membrane part, and then the white pith part, all the bitter stuff, right? So I will take all of that, and then I will put it in my food processor, and I just kind of pulse it so it's broken up a bit. And then I will take that and fill a quart-sized jar 2/3 of the way full with that mixture. More seeds, the better, but you can get what you can get. And yeah, this happens to be a pink grapefruit, but a yellow grapefruit or white grapefruit is even more potent. So that's even better. So 2/3 of the way full of that. The rest of the way, you're going to fill it to the top with an organic glycerite. You can get different glycerin products out there. Get the one that you're most comfortable with. I always recommend organic. If you're taking it internally and you have a problem with mold, you're gonna wanna make sure you do not use corn-based glycerin. You wanna use the coconut-based glycerin. That's my favorite, or soy, but my favorite is the coconut-based glycerin because it's gonna be an antifungal as well. That's the best one for you. So you're gonna have this sit on a shelf in a cold, dark place for 6 weeks. Then you're going to strain out all the grapefruit pulp, and what's left behind is that liquid stuff, the glycerin. This is your glycerite that's been infused for 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes I will add about 1/4 of a teaspoon or 1/2 a teaspoon of rosehip powder in there. It's just a little bit more of a preservative, so it will stay and have a longer shelf life. At that point, you can put it right on the shelf and you've got at least 6 months, maybe a year. Put it in the refrigerator, it'll last even longer. So just a reminder on this and how to use it. Let's just recap a little bit. Yes, an amazing antifungal, amazing anti-candida, amazing help for mold and mold detox, as well as antibacterial, great for immune boosting, right? And helping the gut to heal and balance a bit. But you're gonna remember when you take it internally, you're diluting it. That's important. And then also remember that start low and slow until you see how your body goes. So I'm just curious if you've used grapefruit seed extract. If you have, please drop it in the comments below because I'd love to hear your own experiences with this. Because like I always say, natural healing is totally doable.